You are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Oscar's Guitar Shop with Oscar Jordan, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Oscar's Guitar Shop. I'm Vintage Guitar Magazine contributing writer Oscar Jordan, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. Yes, I am. I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it. And I'll tell you why in a second. Wow, welcome to the Sausage Fest. This is our time, a special time when men of every race, creed, and color can join together as one and whine incessantly about the merits of germanium versus silicon transistors. Fuzz is your friend, right? Is it true bypass? It doesn't matter. We're here together, right? Right? We're here? Right? It's about the humanness of humanity and being human. Hey, I saw Black Joe Lewis last night at the El Rey Theater, and hey guys, please sit down. They put on one hell of a show. I highly recommend the show. It was great. If he makes a stop in your town, go check him out. He brings the fury. He was really, really good. Kind of blues, R&B, like 60s, early 60s stuff. Just great stuff. Before I go on babbling about him, I want to thank my wonderful sponsors who've stuck by me in this hellish nightmare called life, particularly the great Ken Daniels at True Tone Music and Seraphim Markopoulos at Tone Concepts. Hey, when you purchase one of their products, you're supporting Oscar's Guitar Shop. In other words, when they're happy, I'm happy. That's right. I'm very happy when you buy their stuff because they're saying, hey, the commercials are working, Oscar. I'd also like to thank you, my loyal Oscar's Guitar Shop listeners, especially Lawrence Monk from Bristol, England. Lawrence, thank you for your support. You are a beautiful man. Thanks, man. He gave me British pounds, and I transferred them into American money and helped support the show. Would you like to help support Oscar's Guitar Shop? Go to oscarsguitarshop.com and click donations to the show. Share the magic inside your wallet. Oscar's Guitar Shop is powered by Tone Concepts. Find out what Billy Gibbons, Nels Klein, and Alex Skolnick have on their pedal boards. Visit them at toneconcepts.com. Also, True Tone Music. Visit them at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. And last but not least, Mojave Amp Works. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. And now, it's time.
Let's go riding in my car. Just hit the gas and we'll outrun the past. And let's go driving like the doesn't matter who you are or who you think you are. If you have a heart, forget that crap you laid back and go let us go. They changed the rules last night. They said the wrong was right. Say hey, 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 stand and make God get away. Say hey, 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 talking about earthquake escape. So hold on tight, rise with faith. There's the gates to light, see between and it's this way up.
Duke Ellington once said that luck was being at the right place at the right time, doing the right things in front of the right people. Brian Ray's music career has been an amazing preparation, leading him to long-term employment as a guitarist and bassist in the Paul McCartney Band and a successful solo career. He's a consummate musician who has lent his talents to some of the biggest names in the music industry. He was the musical director for Etta James for 14 years and has worked with Joe Cocker, Peter Frampton, Carlos Santana, Keith Richards, and Smokey Robinson, and that's the short list. His current project is with his band, the Bayonets, and it's a rockin' power pop tour de force, weaving a variety of great guitar tones, nifty textures, evocative lyrics, and soulful nuance. He also plays a mean dulcimer. Yes, he does. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the man himself, Mr. Brian Ray. There he is.
What are you doing, Oscar? How are you, man?
You're finally here, and I'm glad of it.
Thanks for having me down.
How do you feel?
I'm awesome, dude.
Now, these people, would you please, sir, would you please put your shirt on? He's not that kind of guy.
Really?
God damn, come on. I can never get enough
The
security
body
in this
paint.
place.
Really, the body
Really?
paint? I don't know. It's a little much.
And then those things, the ears, rings, and from the Polynesian ear, nose, copulation of the hair shaved to the body. Never mind. Anyway.
Excuse me? Oh,
So, I'm babbling on because people freak me out. Hey, you just got back in town from playing with Mr. McCartney.
I did, yeah. We just finished, it's been a couple of whirlwind years, but most especially this last year of 2013 we're coming to the close on. We just finished in Japan, where we did 2 shows in Osaka, 1 in Fukuoka, and 3 in Tokyo at the Tokyo Dome. And if you asked me to go back through the year from Japan back, I don't think I can remember all that we've done, but it's just been power-packed and a real blast.
By the way, how's the sushi in Japan?
I hear it's good, but they do a good job with that dish over there. Yeah.
I was wondering about that country and their sushi. Living in L.A., we got it made,
Lately, though, I hear that it glows in the dark. I'm not sure that I would go near the sushi at this point.
We're going to get sued. Oh, no. Wow, that's great. Well, you've just been busy. And then, of course, Paul's new album is out, which you played all over, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, we were just chatting before you turned on the mic about what an honor and gift it is, a privilege to have been a part of Paul's new record, to the degree that he asked us to be a part of it. It was immersion, and it was weeks, and it was 3 different studios in 3 different cities, and a couple of different producers, and a lot of hang time, just a lot of nice, long, fun, creative days bouncing around from one part and one idea to another together. Just a blast.
I was reading about the making of that, and which I think is really cool, is even though you had multiple producers working on the album, Giles Martin was like the ringmaster, basically, for trying to get the solid sound. so you wouldn't be doing a techno record and a folk album at the same time. You know, it has
exactly.
There's a continuity.
Yeah, I think that was a smart move of Paul's, and it was a way for Paul to work with Giles, the son of George Martin, of course, longtime Beatles producer, sometimes called the fifth Beatle.
Yes.
Giles, the wonderful and brilliant son of George Martin, was called upon to sort of string together and glue together the different kinds of production styles of the other three producers, as well as being a fourth producer as well, doing some of these tracks himself at the helm. But pulling together these different tracks and textures of, say, Ethan Johns to Mark Ronson to Paul Epworth, pulling these different palettes together so that they all work with one mix engineer, the great Spike Stent, at the mixing console at the end, and he did a great job. Giles is brilliant.
Wow, that's very cool. How do I want to imagine what that conversation is like when they say, "Hey, Brian, what should you play on this?" Or what? How do they choose who does what? You know, because you're a multi-instrumentalist.
Right. You know, and I'm in that funny position when recording with Paul that, you know, most live tracking sessions include bass guitar, but Paul will want to sing while he's doing the basic track. He always has. It's what makes him comfortable. Rarely are we playing a basic track without a guide vocal or without what will be a keeper, comped later, lead vocal. Comped meaning taking the best bits of different performances of any given track that you've done multiple performances of. You have the ability to do that these days. You know, you can play the track if it's the same arrangement 5 times and steal the best bits of the vocal into a final vocal.
Right.
But anyway, it's always a little bit funny because he doesn't usually want to sing lead while playing bass. He'll usually want to do the track on the instrument he wrote the song on, whether that's piano, acoustic, or electric guitar, or what have you. And so I would usually, in that instance, I would be playing bass on the basic track, later to, of course, be replaced by Paul because he's Paul McCartney.
Yes, he does play bass.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing. Anyway, but you know what? The interesting thing this time out, Oscar, was that Paul said, I'm going to leave the bass off the basic track this time because I don't want to replace you. I don't want to go through all that work and then just to replace it. So why don't you play 12-string on this one? Or why don't you play electric on this one? Or why don't you play a conga on this one? Whatever it is. And it was another way to do it, and it was really nice. But it gave me a chance to play a whole variety of instruments, both in basic tracking and as overdubs for Paul's new record.
Tell me about your dulcimer training.
Oh, yeah. It's, you know, it's a long time ago. As a baby, I played dulcimer in the bathtub, funny enough. No, dulcimer, well, it's just sort of like you pick one up and you tune it until it sounds right to you. Yeah. You lay it down in your lap and you make the chords or notes with your left hand if you're a right-hand guitar player like I am, and you strum it with your right hand. Sort of like a lap steel, but instead of a slide, you're using your fingers on the neck, and it's on your lap. And so I have absolutely no dulcimer training at all. But you can tell by the way I talk about it. Dulcimer. No. So dulcimer, yeah. I just love the way those things sound, and it's a great texture. So there were a few tracks where I thought it would be a cool sound, or a few tracks where Paul said, Brian, do you have that strum stick, or do you have that dulcimer handy? And in one instance, we're at Henson Recording Studio, and he's starting this very cool acoustic track, and he wants that strum stick sound. I don't have it at the studio. Before he could look up, he's just getting a sound. I ran down the hall of Henson to John Shank's studio and said, John, do you have a dulcimer, like now? He said, yeah, take these 3. And I ran back to the studio, and it was like 4 minutes later, I have a dulcimer in my lap, and we're recording. So, you just got to think quick and help him to get what it is that he's imagining.
Wow.
But one other answer to your question about how does it come down, I'll often, if Paul hasn't asked me to play Brian, I Hear You on 12-string or something like that, I'll sometimes say to Paul, what do you fancy playing on this?
Yeah.
So then it becomes, a little more clear what I might do, and then leave it up to him to give me the next instruction.
Because you have no idea what's going to end up, so it's all kind of just experimentation and knowing what trying different things, and hopefully at the end you'll have enough of whatever you need to keep, in terms of 12-string dulcimer, pedal steel.
Yeah.
6-string acoustic 12-string. I mean, it's nice to, and what's great is you guys are all great multi-instrumental musicians. So it's like you guys are the perfect group of people to have in the studio when you need something. Brian, can you play a little trombone? Sure. You're ready to rock.
Incredibly badly. I'll play some. It's a little trombone.
Just a little.
It's only this big.
And made of plastic.
Yeah, it's a blast. I got to play dobro slide on a cool song called "On My Way to Work," and the dulcimer and conga. I mean, there's so many crazy instruments I got to play on this record. Yeah, it was fun.
I have a complete track list of everything you did on the record, by the way. So if you forget, I'm here for you.
Ooh,
but I want to get into your thing, the Bayonets, because that's just the edgiest, coolest, power-popping juggernaut that I've heard in a while. I got it from your publicist a while ago, and I just I love it. So what I'm going to do, I want to
so much.
I want to shut up. I want to shut up. I want to shut up.
Yes.
I can't, but I want to, and I want to play this tune. It's from the album Smartphone, and it's by the band. The Bayonets. I'm going to play the track. I'm going to go to a commercial. We're going to come back, and we're going to find out what the hell is going on with this whole smartphone thing.
Okay.
The song goes a little like, where's it at? They didn't have my smartphone. Where is it at? Oh, there it is. Here we go.
Where's my smartphone?
It's right here. Yes, sirree. You need what? No. That was awesome, man. That was truly awesome. Your guitar tone can mean the difference between inspiration and boring twaddle. Tone Concepts makes guitar products for the discriminating artist. The Distillery guitar pedal was designed for the tone sculptor. Created in collaboration with some of the greatest guitarists in the world, the Distillery will make your amp sound amazing, and it's also great for bringing life to dull, rented backlines. It gives you up to 20 dBs of flexible, transparent power or awesome tonal goodness. That's right. Whatever rig you're using, the Distillery gives you the option of a clean boost along with a sophisticated tone shaping circuit. It bulks up thin tones or adds beautiful, clarifying resonance to thicker sounds. The Distillery is endorsed by some of the world's top guitar players. Nels Cline, Alex Skolnick, Steve Lukather, Billy Gibbons, Vince Gill, Dweezil Zappa, and Jim Campolongo have all fallen in love with this pedal, and so will you. Hear it for yourself. Check out the Distillery at toneconcepts.com. That's right. You know where to go. It's really cool. Actually, I reviewed that pedal for Vintage Guitar Magazine. It'll be up during the NAMM issue. And you'll be getting free issue of that magazine probably if you go to NAMM, and you'll see my review of the Distillery. I think you'll be filled with insight. Brian, that tune was great, man. You were the ruler of power pop. I thought power pop was dead, but it is not. You bring it, man.
Oh, man, thank you.
I love the tones on there. Like we were talking earlier, I can hear the wood of your guitars.
Hear the wood.
That's right. Tell me about the guitar you were using on that.
That was a 1954 Gibson ES295, which some of you may have seen before in the hands of Scotty Moore, Elvis's first guitar player. It's the guitar he used in the earliest days of Sun Records before.
Wait a minute. Elvis wasn't playing all the guitar on that?
Scotty Moore was playing those brilliant solos, and that was all on a 295 in the early days. Okay, so, that was, a complete track, the low guitar and the chorus sort of chords and all the crunchy stuff all on one guitar through a Silvertone amp, along with, I think it was a small Roccaforte amp as well. Sort of beat up and grungy sounding, and a lot of tank reverb. We had a Fender tank reverb in front of the Silvertone, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I can hear the room too.
Yeah, this was all the brainchild of Oliver Lieber and I. Mm-hmm. Oliver's a longtime buddy of mine and collaborator who's an extremely talented writer-producer. He's written for people like, Kesha, Adam Lambert, Rod Stewart, Aretha. He goes way back, and a talented guy. And I was about to start writing a new album, and he's one of my favorite co-writers. So he said, well, let's do a band thing instead. And I said, yeah, let's. And we started writing that day. And I think Smartphone was our first song under a different title, but that was I came in with that sort of low guitar idea, and we were off to the races, and we cut the whole thing at his studio, which, yes, is an amazing sounding room.
Did you talk at all about what you wanted to say or concept, style, etc., or you said this is a song, and then you knew where you were together?
Actually, good question. Our first song, which ended up being this Smartphone, started out as Get On With It was the original title, mm-hmm. and it was about both Oliver and I had come to a place in our lives where we'd lost family members recently, and we no longer wanted to just do the things that brought in money that weren't our favorite things to do. For him, chasing pop songwriting hits. Mm-hmm. I said, at our age, we've come to a place where we deserve to, and we have earned the right to, do the things that move us, that make us laugh, that make us smile, that make us stay awake at night and get up early in the morning to do it again. And so we wanted to write a song about a little bit deeper issues, not just power pop stuff. So we started Get On With It, which was an inspirational kind of thing. Like people are dropping like flies all around us. So grab it now and get on with it. And that was the idea of it. And one day Oliver just said, I'm not convinced that we have the best lyric. And I went, oh, Jesus. So we rewrote it and it came out as a power pop, dirty rock power pop called Smartphone, about this new age we live in where people are taking inappropriate selfies and shooting them out into outer space to ruin their lives and careers or those of others. And I just thought that's a hilarious little slice of time and space. And then I had the idea of setting it in a spaghetti Western intro. So it was sort of a shootout with smartphones. And and then it just becomes a whole evocative world that you create with sonics,
Yeah, funny you mentioned that, because I was re-listening to the album this morning, and despite some of the songs that have a bouncier kind of up feel, there's an underpinning lyrically of darker adult subjects, or mature. This is for mature viewers, not like dark, but I mean it's an adult. You have adult lyrics that actually grown people would like to listen to. It's not about boy meets girl, let's go drive away. It's good. It's life stuff.
Yeah, grown-up kids is basically.
It's real life adult stuff that means stuff. And so you just pile driving, went song after song, and that set the course, for everything.
Well, so Oliver and I didn't have all the time in the world. I was between tours with Paul, and he was doing other stuff too, and we had time to start and finish 5 tracks. And instead of doing a CD and releasing it as a full length, we had these 5 songs. And I thought, why don't we release it a song at a time as a series, a string of singles? So that's what we did, starting on Valentine's Day, 2013. We released, appropriately enough, Sucker for Love on Valentine's Day. That night, Stevie Van Zandt's wife, Maureen, saw my tweet about the song, went and found it, loved it, played it for Stevie Van Zandt that night, Valentine's night. And before the morning, I had an email in my inbox from little Stephen Van Zandt saying, we love this song. Who in the hell are the Bayonets? Where do I get some more of this? I already did a radio edit. It's the coolest song in the world for my March 25th show or whatever it is. I think you should slow your roll as far as how many songs you're putting out, and let me blast this thing out into the universe, which is what he did.
Yeah, and I think that's what I will do. I would like to continue blasting, and because it's a cool song. I mean, I think that's the first song I heard, "Sucker for Love," and the video is hilarious. People go to YouTube, and the video is hilarious, in costumes and hot chicks and dancing and dorkish wigs, and
it's so dorky.
And you with the mustache,
such a fool.
Anyway, I'm going to play this song, "Sucker for Love." I'm going to play it. We're going to enjoy it. And then we're going to go to a commercial, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to get deep in more doo-doo of this. I want to get into the details of the record and all that, you did on it. Hold tight.
Great, man.
So I'm throwing my black book out. Alright.
dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yes, of course you can dig it, silly. It's a great damn song. Oh, by the way, True Tone Music is a virtual candy store for guitarists and bass players. They're world famous. I said they are world famous for having the best selection of new and used and vintage guitars in the Los Angeles area. Located at 714 Santa Monica Boulevard in the city of Santa Monica, True Tone Music offers the widest selection of exceptionally high-quality guitars and basses. They stock name brands like Fender, Gibson, Epiphone, Gretsch, and much, much more. Check out their wide selection of Martin acoustic guitars. Martin is the leading manufacturer of steel string flat top acoustics and synonymous with handcrafted excellence. True Tone Music is where the top names of the music industry shop for guitars, basses, amps, and boutique pedals. They'll also match any online price and back it up with top-notch customer service. Visit them at TrueToneMusic.com. That's TrueToneMusic.com. Tell them I said hello, or you can call 310-393-8232. That's 310-393-8232. Ask for Ken. They will match any online price. They will make your life complete, because I said so. And if they don't, you send me over there with you. I will hold your hand and walk you through the store, and I will take care of you. And we will pick out some Gretsch guitars and some Martins and some P basses and whatever you need. I'm here for you.
Great guys at True Tone, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Dave and Ken and all those guys down there. And the biggest selection of very cool boutique pedals that I've ever seen. Incredible selection.
I know.
I sleep there sometimes.
I've got a cot in the back room. I just look out and I play all the toys.
A lava lamp and a paddle. Go ahead.
Yeah, they do have some great boutique pedals. And usually, because, before it was hard to find boutique pedals in a store. You had to order them, and now you can just walk over to True Tone and there you have it. Voila.
Try them out,
Good stuff. So tell me, the record's been out for a while and it's been playing, and how do you feel about it? Anything you'd like to change, or are you happy with everything? Because it just sounds great to me.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, next step is to do a record, and we are being offered a deal right now through a good friend of mine who's got an imprint over at Universal Records. Rob Christie, Robo Records, has offered us a cool little deal. So we're hoping to finish and release a new album of the Bayonets this coming year, 2014. So look out.
Look out. Or you can go to brianray.com and check out all your Brian Ray needs, and he will take care of you.
That's right. And the bayonets.com for all your bayonets needs.
Because you can always use a bayonet, right?
Anyone could use a bayonet at any time.
How did you come up with that name?
Well, Oscar, actually, we were going through one of those starts out funny and ends up really, really frustrating band naming tirades, Oliver and I, and it starts out so fun and so funny. And then when we couldn't really land on one, then it just turns over into silly. And it's sort of a reaction to not be able to land on a good name, that you start just being silly as hell. And it devolved into complete silliness. And then I heard the word bayonets used in presidential debates, wherein our current president, Barack Obama, used the term bayonets in an answer to his debate opponent, some guy named Mitt something.
That dude.
And anyway, I just thought, that's cool, but that's just a great sounding word. And what I was looking for, over and above that funny punchline of a debate point, what I was looking for was something made by men in an earlier time out of heavy materials that was very basic back when men made stuff, and something archaic, something heavy, something a bit dark. And I just thought that word fit great.
It's perfect. It's, there's nothing like that that one word that just fits. And it's hard. That's the hardest thing to find a band name.
Sharp and to the point.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. But then, the other thing was that there was Bayonets in Croatia. Mm-hmm. There was the Bayonets in New Zealand. And then there was a band called Caleb something and the Bayonets in Rhode Island. And I had to talk Oliver into using it anyway. And even though we didn't have the URL, we didn't own the website, that was taken by the Bayonets in New Zealand. So I contacted them through my old web gal, and she found them, and I made them an offer. Pretty rough negotiations, but they were, I guess, coming to get the end of their touring together. Mm-hmm. They'd been together for quite a while. And I purchased the URL, so I own that and the naming rights, which was, an awesome little coup.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'd like to go off on a little tangent.
Okay, let's go there.
As you know, even though you're here and you play a wonderful guitar, the show is all about my pain.
Okay, let's talk about your pain.
My pain involves me having an amp dropped off at my apartment. The name of the amp is called the Divided by 13 BTR 23.
Uh-oh.
And people might be saying, what's this BTR?
Yes. What is that?
It stands for Brian Thomas Ray, which is you.
That's me.
And it's your signature amp.
That's crazy.
And I reviewed it for Vintage Guitar Magazine, and then that's when the problem started because I fell in love.
Ah.
And then I finished the review, and then they wanted it back.
Oh, man.
And I had gigged with it. I'm totally honest. I gigged with it. I had it. I just took it through all the paces. Did some gigs. It was and then it was oh yeah, we got to have that back. We no.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was
man.
just
I'm glad you liked it.
I had the combo version, and it was the amp was so pretty. It was like this cream colored version that came out, and it's a beautiful amp. And can you tell me the little background on what you were thinking about when you were coming up with the idea?
Divided by 13 is a great Fred Tacone who's been making those amps for years now. And, I was caught by those amps years ago because David Kahn, the guy who put together the Paul McCartney touring band that is now the Paul McCartney band, loved those amps and used them in the studio and turned Rusty on to them, or vice versa, the other guitar player in Paul's band. And so years down the road, I was approached by Fred to do a signature or my own model, and he said, I want to start with the KT88 tubes, which are those little sort of fat body tubes that have that little bulge in the middle of it. And I said, great, let me hear what you have in mind. And the idea would be to have a push-pull gain option and a very usable gain stage. And it's just a super musical amp. It sounds sort of early Marshall-y to me, which I guess is, kind of its genesis. And, just a really great little amp. And you can get very, very musical, fat, crunchy sounds at a very low volume with this really super musical gain. Yeah, and Fred made a great amp, and that's what I'm using with Paul right now. I run two of them in stereo out of a stereo, just a plain old on-the-floor pedal board, no fancy stuff. And I split it old school style out of the pedal board as a stereo thing for some of the stereo tones. And I run them at about 9 o'clock. I mean, they're really low volume for me on stage, and they sound great.
Wow. It does, I tell you. And I emailed him back. I said, is there anything I can do? I won't sleep with you, but is there anything I can do to get that amp? You give me one.
Right.
And then he did not return my email.
He did not.
Funnily enough, he did not return my email. So I think I'm on my own. I'll just have to stay with my Fender Deluxe.
Fred.
I know. Well, that's okay. It's okay, man. You're a big shot. I'm not.
I'll have a word with Fred.
Please talk to him. I want to play one more song. This is a cool tune. It's called What You Got. It's from the album Smartphone. It's a cool tune. It goes like this.
got lightning in my pocket. I got a 6-string way down low. I don't play around when I come to town, and all the women will tell you so. I got an 81 Eldorado with bullhorns on the hood. And any woman alive that has ever survived will tell you I'm no good.
The night is hot, the moon is high, and in your arms, so am I. Bodies moving north and south. Look in my eyes and shut your mouth. You wanna sweet talk? You can take a walk. You got the bling bling, baby, that's so many things. You got a big mouth, and you talk tough, but my big hug lips gonna shut you up. You want the real thing? Be the real deal. You wanna drive through, run me on behind the wheel. You got a big car in the parking lot. So what? Show me what you got.
I got my alligator boots on and a stick pin in my tie. There's no mistaking the road I've taken and the danger in my eye. Casanova was a lightweight, and Valentino was a clown. Let there be no doubt, I'll be pulling out with the hottest chick in town.
The night is hot, the moon is high, and in your arms, so am I. Bodies moving north and south. Look in my eyes and shut your mouth. You wanna sweet talk? You can take a walk. You got the bling bling, baby, that's so many things. You got a big mouth and you talk tough, but my red hot lips gonna shut you up. You want the real thing? Be the real deal. You wanna drive through, run me on behind the wheel. You got a big car in the parking lot. So what? Show me what you got.
Yes. Holy Christ. Christ on a sit and spin. Christ on the mount. Ow. My golly. That was cool, man.
Thanks, Oscar.
That was really cool.
So much fun.
That is very, very cool. So what's coming up next for you?
Well, as I said, I'm hoping that Oliver and I can finish up 5 more little burn-in tracks and put them out as a physical CD this year. That's what I'm shooting for. And, we're up for Coolest Song of the Year on Underground Garage. And if you like, let's say, smartphone, for instance, you can go to the Underground Garage website and click on it. It's a show 581 smartphone, I think is it. You can vote once a day, and it would be really cool, fun little thing for Oliver and I to enjoy. And I guess more of that and more Paul McCartney, and we'll just see what the year brings, man. Lots of love and lots of fun, a lot of smiles and a lot of good music.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do next, man. You do great stuff. Brian Raitt, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thanks, Oscar. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. I'm grateful to have you as a human being come on my program.
Don't cry.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. I'd like to thank my guest, Brian Ray. Set mind to purpose and visit him at brianray.com or bayonets.com.
Thebayonets.com.
Thebayonets.com, the sharp, heavy object that hurts. And purchase every piece of music he has ever written. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Tone Concepts. Visit them at toneconcepts.com. Check out that distillery pedal. I'm serious. Also, True Tone Music at truetonemusic.com. And last but not least, Mojave Ampworks. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. Tune in next week when our guest will be former Racer X and Mr. Big guitarist Pablo Gilberto, more famously known as Paul Gilbert. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. See you next week. Same bad time. Same bad channel.
A place where I